Here goes the record. There's the encoder. And we good.
Welcome. What's going on? This is the one and only IT and the D Show, episode 377. We are broadcasting live from our quarantined homes. This is Bob the Sales Guy. That is Dave the Geek. Randy, I do the Twitters, is doing the Twitters. You can find us online, itandthed.com. Do us a favor, give us a like on the socials, and subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
Yeah, and kind of feeling like a bit of a broken record at this point, but yet no on the events. We're not.
I guess we can do events at Topgolf. I heard there's like a waiting list of people on. Someone said it's packed, and I'm like, no, it's not packed. Like then I see another post that it's packed, and I'm like, come on. So then I go to the reservation.
Were they selling 3-wick candles for $9.99?
That's the only reason to go to Kohl's, right? 3-wick candles, $9.99, lying around the building.
That's Bed Bath & Beyond, sir.
Whatever. It's all the same shit to me.
Randy, why are you dressed to match your background tonight? What's going on?
Oh, he totally is.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
That's his famous shirt he bought at Meijer that he had to brag about on Facebook. I got a new shirt. Like he's like an 8-year-old. Like
it's my first day of school shirt.
I got new clothes. Look at me.
All right. Well, hey, we are joined tonight by John Hartzell. For those of you who do not know John, shame on you. John is one of the owners down at Detroit Shipping Company, where we have our downtown studio, and he has a lot of other projects going on. So wanted to get John in kind of to talk about some of those like what it's like trying to launch new projects during all of this chaos, as well as keep something existing afloat during all of this chaos. So, hey, John, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So I guess let's start with the easy one, or probably not the easy one. Like what all, and I feel like this is a total softball because I know the answer, but like what all have you been doing? Because I mean, people familiar with Detroit Shipping Company, that is absolutely a food hall, kind of everybody, community tables and dancing nights and all that kind of stuff. How's that going?
Right. What a change a year has made, right? A place that generally has live music, as you say, constantly running events, constantly having buyout parties, bachelor parties, different work parties, things of that nature, going from a 600-person standing room only Friday and Saturday and Sunday location to everybody has to dine outside, and you hope to get 120 people, which is still an amazing number of people that are willing to go outside and cold mug it, right? I mean, obviously starting through the beginning of COVID when we all got hit with, what, and when, the week that happened, we were shutting down, I think on the Sunday she announced, or Monday,
right?
We had a meeting with all the restaurateurs, and just kind of had the Friday talk, and as you guys know, because you're there and you guys are, in tight with everyone that's there. We have a spectrum of business owners from far right to far left. And so that phone call was amazing, where I just was mediating, just saying, you're all correct. Nobody's wrong in how you feel about what's coming. And we had to make a decision come that Monday where we're going to close, because part of our group socially felt like we should just close, but the governor hadn't shut it down yet. And the other part of the group was just that gung-ho, we're going to fight through this and go. And so I was just stressing out all weekend. And this is ridiculous, but I always think about when anyone asks, what's the most interesting moment in history to you? And it's thinking about Kennedy is sitting there sending, a fax out to the Russians at the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? And the stress of writing every letter and every decision in that moment and the fate of the world. And I'm just sitting there stressing out about opening or closing shipping company, right? Ridiculous. And the greatest gift ever.
Things, yeah.
The greatest gift ever was Whitmer just saying, you're shut down. Like, thank you. It's not my decision.
Right.
So grateful. But
and a lot of the places there have done a pretty good job with, staying relevant and keeping themselves like fresh and all that kind of stuff. I've seen a lot of menu changes, shifting to go orders. I know Chef Max has been really big on hitting catering, for local businesses and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and I know, unfortunately Motor still isn't open just because, I mean, they're, based out of Windsor. And so that's a challenge. And I know Brujo has closed and been replaced by the halal street food place, which hands down has the best gyro I've had, and I can't tell you how long.
Yeah, well, it didn't close down. They just changed chefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so actually, in a positive of the COVID, Chef Petro, his plan when opening Brujo was to get back into the city of Detroit, and push his brand as a chef, right? So he originally was from Chicago, came to Detroit and opened Texas Day Brazil. Then from there opened up his bistro in Berkeley, Republica.
Yep.
Right. And then spent 5-6 years in the suburbs and wanted to be back in the city. And there was no better way than, that small setting of Detroit Shipping Company to really launch his brand, which led him into, the head of Dean at a hotel, which really ultimately.
He's working with Athenium now.
Yeah. So it was actually perfectly showcasing what Detroit Shipping Company is supposed to be.
So I guess let's talk about the other stuff that you've got going on. So this, Bob and I are lightly familiar with the pains and suffering of the brewery world. So you've got this little biscuit thing going on. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, actually, for a while now, since I opened Detroit Shipping Company, and Detroit Shipping Company is really based on operators, right? Guys like you guys, like Chef Matt and Petro and Steve. We've always kind of like geared towards who the operator is, the quality of the operator, but the person, not the business, and the business is second, because you're only as good as the people who work there and the guys running it. And on that note, so we started looking at other developments in the city of Detroit, and I wasn't necessarily looking to develop a brewery, but one of the best sales and distribution guys in town, who hasn't left his business yet, so I don't want to announce his name, but he kind of came to me and said, I've for a long time had a couple friends, and we've had a dream of owning our own business. We've been making money for other people for a long time. Really excited about trying to branch off and have our own business, and so really dove into them, and then dove the brewery business to understand the brewery business, and just really liked this opportunity. So from that, and of course diving through COVID, we're launching the brand of Little Brisket Brewing Company. It's a brewery, bought a little building over at Shane Gratiot, which used to be Manoni's Market. Anybody from the east side knows that little space. It's funny, whenever I meet anyone, my grandma used to take me there, and everyone just knows that market. My uncle, who is, I used to come down to Pole Town all the time, knows the market. Like, everyone knows that little spot. We were able to purchase that, sell that liquor license off, and we're converting the building into a microbrewery. Then we're taking, again, the three guys we feel like are the top in the industry, one in the distribution and sales, top brewmeister, has about 25 different gold medals over the last 30 years of his career.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy who's behind it. It's a shame you can't talk about it yet, but it's kind of crazy who's all involved in this.
And 100% makes it really hard to fundraise when you can't speak about the key people that you backed, right? Like, so excited to bring you these guys. Who are they? These guys. Yeah.
It's just they're really well. And the funny thing is like people in the know, as you read, like if you read through the website, if you read through, like you kind of get the vibe on who's involved, but plausible deniability is a thing.
I mean, it's not going to be long till it's announced. And agreed. It's funny, in some of the marketing we're doing, you'll get a photo and there'll be someone's car, like the corner of the car in the back of the photo, and it just all of a sudden all these wives are getting angry. They're going to know. Everyone will know. They're all going to know in about a month, anyways.
Right.
I mean, just let the world know.
So I guess I guess that's the question, is like, so what stage is this in? Like, are people, like, is it just getting up and running? Are people brewing already? Like, what's going on?
Beautiful. We have permits in hand. We own the building. We're pretty far along on the brew license and all that piece. lot of legal, a lot of different pieces put in place to get all the soft work done. Loan closing is end of this month, and then we're like kind of tight closing up on our fundraising right now on the equity. We did 2 different types of equity, and it's kind of to this conversation. It's what is networking right now,
right?
You know, and networking isn't what it
looking
used
at
to be,
it,
right? we're looking at it, and you guys look great. So, Bob, you've been doing it for a year, right? Was networking. So,
Yeah.
you know, I used to just have people out for drinks at Shipco or all over Detroit. We were just splunkering around, getting on bikes, checking things out, taking them through neighborhoods, hanging out. Now it's, you know, Zoom meetings and having remote beers. You know? So we actually, you know, have a traditional equity raise, but then we also decided because of this, let's try a crowd fund, you know, which is like a debt raise. So it's a little bit non-traditional for us. Allows people to come in for $100, and they can buy in a kind of a debt 5-year term, 8% on the money. It's kind of a little different for us, but gives people a little safer entry into investing in something. A little bit better than just keeping your cash in the savings account, right? What's a bank giving you? 0.05%,
right?
You know, you buy a little CD, you get 3% if you're lucky. This gets you 8% 5-year return, and with a really stable group of guys who have a lot of history in business and a lot of history in brewing.
That's kind of cool. I like that. And then on top of this, you've also got, I don't know if you want to call it the expansion or the next step for DSC, which is Complex 444, which is next door.
Yeah, and this isn't on an equity raise. This one we've actually fulfilled our equity raise in that. So building Detroit Shipping Company is kind of the opening for me in the development world, and really fell in love with the process. Really like working with the city. Really like bringing something.
Really, because I've seen you banging your head against the wall. Like that's a goofy kind of love. That's
I like pain. But we just. The neighborhood itself, you know, like I think we've talked about before, the land we built shipping company on was grass since 1988, right?
Yep.
And the land next to it's the same way. And so we've been just looking at the neighborhood and trying to understand what's the next phase of its history, what would make sense in this space. And so we came up with a 21,000 square foot, 3-story building. And the first floor is micro retail, similar to Detroit Shipping Company, except for it's not food. Right, it's a shopping district essentially, right? And we have some great leases already set up. London Beauties, women products. We got the Standard, Detroit Clothier. We got what's it called? Handful of people. Calça de Flor, it's a florist coming in. Also, Detroit young girl, mid-20s, first business, rocking things. So it's gonna be a really nice expansion of Detroit Shipping Company. You can hang out at Detroit Shipco, see a band, get some food, grab a beer, walk next door. You can stay inside the building, don't have to go outside. Your liquor license carries over, so you can keep drinking. Walk into the building, there'll be 16 micro retailers. There's a bonbon shop coming in. You can like some clothing spots, some home goods, a lot of different little items. We're also going to be curating a small like breakfast, lunch, diner style called Charlotte's.
Okay.
Yeah, Haley, she was the head baker at Gold Cash Gold. She's in the comps, like breakfast biscuits, breakfast sandwiches, and it'll come into like a little happy hour cocktail space with little pastries. So it'll be an extension of Detroit Shipco's liquor license. You can go back and forth, but a little bit better curated, a little different, and really more catered towards happy hour and in the shopping scene. So a little nicer cocktail. So if you're going, you and your girl are gonna walk around and shop a little bit, she might want a nicer cocktail than what we do at Detroit Shipco. So it gives you a little bit of options, right? You know what we do.
So yeah, so you said that's already like funded and taken care of. So how long is this equity thing running for Little Biscuit?
So Little Biscuit, we've got about 35 more days on the debt raise. We've actually secured all the equity we need.
Okay.
And so at this point, we're on the market just for anybody who wants to be part of something for the next 5 years. You know, launching a small business in Detroit, and so there's still opportunity on honeycombcredit.com, and you can get in there, or you can go through our website and get to that app. But again, it gives you light entry to buy into a business that's launching, right? Not everyone gets that opportunity ever.
Yeah, we've got
we've
got those links. I'm sure Randy's going to throw them out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're actually, because how the way COVID worked and it squeezed all of our business, we were trying to roll out businesses every quarter this year, and now they're all rolling out at the exact same time, which is really a joy. But we also, have been carrying this this business concept called Metropolitan Variety Store.
I was just going to go into that next. Yep.
Beautiful, love it. So a real good friend from my childhood, who again has not left his business currently, but will be leaving in the next 30 days. Was top buyers in the beverage world in Oakland County in the Tri-County area. Messaged me about 18 months ago and just said, if you open a liquor store, I'll run it for you. Of course, I responded with, if you open a liquor store, I'll sponsor you. And that led into just this whole dialogue of, what are you looking for? Because I really don't, I wasn't really passionately looking to, back someone in the liquor store. And we just kind of started getting deeper in the conversation. He mentioned how a lot of the real high-end boutique restaurants were coming to his store, driving 10, 15 miles to his shop, because he's the only one, in the area curating the items and goods that they were using in their craft cocktails.
Interesting.
And so I really started diving into who he was, his present community, and just really liked what he was doing there. And I took his principles and I started thinking about what we have at Detroit Shipping Company, how we mix different businesses so that you're just not flat with one tier, but you have multiple tiers to protect yourself in case there's any pandemics or changes in the market, right? And what's funny is, his industry is outperforming my industry. So, in me trying to protect his industry and make it, fail safe, I really look at, like, right now, it's called off-premise beverages, like plus 300% year on year in cash compared to restaurants, which are down 70%. Right?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, God, I think we've talked about that over and over and over again. Where basically liquor stores, dispensaries are just printing money right now, like that.
So before the pandemic went out, I thought I was a genius. I was like, listen, we'll take your liquor shop on one side, the Metropolitan Variety Store, your high-end curated goods, and we'll put a boutique matching level liquor, a bar on the other side. We'll have a glass wall separating it for liquor license reasoning. And on one side, you could walk in and have a really nice curated cocktail. And then you could say, what's in that cocktail? And that bartender would be, again, someone high levels. Hey, listen, we've got this, this, and this. Go right next door. You can buy it all at Metropolitan Variety Store, and then two worlds, right? So we had been planning on and bringing that to Midtown. I had a building on 3rd Street, and just things didn't move correctly on that. And then the pandemic hit. We were kind of just mulling, where's our next place to put this location? We need something that already has density, walkability. And then the Craftwork restaurant came on the market. And we couldn't find something better than that, right? West Village has already got a great community, a very loyal, dense walking community. The space, the location itself has a good following, and people are looking for this. And at the same time, and I mentioned the one player, Haley, earlier from Gold Cash Gold, Brendan Edwards, also the head chef there. They both happen to be free agents on the market since Gold Cash closed.
Right.
And we had started talking to them about, backing them, because earlier I mentioned how I look for people, not programs, right? And these are all really the top people in their industry, and people you can really trust and say, these are someone I would get behind all day. So anyways, Craftwork popped up. It really started making sense for putting Metropolitan Variety Store. One side I would have a curated shop. The other side I'd have the high-end cocktail bar, and it ended up coming with a kitchen. So I was able to program bringing Brendan Edwards and Haley in to run that kitchen and bar, and then my operator on the other side for the liquor shop. So we actually just launched today a crowd fund on that one as well. Very similar. It's a debt structure. You can come in at $100. That one I love as a concept of this. If you've got that person who's hard to figure out what to buy for a holiday, buy them some interest in a liquor store, right? You can go for $100. You could get them a dumb gift card at Target. And they're gonna blow it on drapes and whatever socks.
Right. Nobody needs more towels. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So how about you buy them $100 interest in a liquor shop, right? Now for the next 5 years, they're getting returns on that. They get invited to cocktail parties. They get invited to, barrel openings and whatnot. It's a lot better gift.
Thanks, Grandma. Savings bond.
Yeah.
That actually is a really cool idea. I like that. I love the concept of, enjoy the cocktail here. And then, here's your shopping list. Go ahead and walk over there and grab it. That's awesome.
Yeah, John, I don't know if you know my friend Jason Peltier that ran Clubhouse BFD out in Rochester Hills. He opened up his own place called Oat Soda up in Lake Orion. Does the same thing. Or he has a little shop, has a real nice, smaller bar, like limited menu, limited bar shop to go. You know what I mean? He's killing it though.
Yeah, perfect. It's a perfect model, right?
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely. No, a lot of times I'm the worst. I don't know how to make a cocktail, right? So if I can go in there, I can say to the bartender or the guy at the store, hey, listen, I want to make a cocktail tonight for my family. It's gonna be kind of fun, a little holiday party. What do you think? He's gonna say, oh, take this, but go next to the bar, taste it, test it, tell me if you think that's good. We got, we have blank liquor going on this month. It's bourbon month. Test this. There might be a cool cocktail. Like that's exactly what I want. Now I know what it tastes like. I watch the person make it, and I go next door. Little buzz, so it makes it easier to purchase all the stuff. Grab the gear and go home. And now I don't have to watch.
I absolutely need this artisanal, handcrafted simple syrup. Absolutely.
It's amazing. Right. It's amazing to me how the adult Capri Sun market has just gone through the roof.
Oh, pre-made drinks. Oh, it's amazing, dude. Well, God, I mean, you see almost there's so many bars and restaurants. Well, over here on the east side, what is it? Terry's Terrace. That's like that. Apparently that's all their marketing now is their to-go stuff. And it's I'm sorry, I've never seen like a mudslide in a pre-made package before. It blew my mind. And I was like, all right, cool. Good for you guys.
It's usually in the TGI Fridays half gallon at
exactly.
Our office is down in Corktown, so we still have reps showing up just at the office with this different seltzers, like your Cortis seltzer and some kind of sludge, like smoothie booze showed up in a can the other day.
Smooth from Holmes in Ann Arbor.
That is correct. It was a tough drink.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you called it sludge, so I kind of assumed that. Well, and I
wasn't far off.
Yeah. Well, and on top of all that stuff you've got going on, you're also tackling here in the middle of a project in Lansing as well.
Oh, I love Lansing. We came to Detroit and fell in love with Detroit, and so our original plan was Detroit Shipping Company, and from there now we're on like Project 4, and in that we're bringing dollars that weren't being spent. We're bringing investment dollars that weren't coming into the neighborhood. So by the time we're done in the next year, I should have about $10 million investment into neighborhoods in Detroit that had nothing going on. So
that's awesome, dude. Seriously, that's a really friggin' great thing.
Hey, whenever you want to buy that little slider joint, is it across Second? I will totally make burgers all day.
When you're ready, Bob.
He's been ready. He's ready to do nothing but stand behind a counter making like sliders. That's all he wants.
You got to get.
And if he can serve beer, so much the better.
Well, crazy won't tell the price. You get. But so the same principles in Lansing. So I wasn't looking Lansing necessarily. I know I wanted to do a Detroit Shipping Company, multiple locations, and generally my plan was 4 hours away. I don't want to overdo a concept too.
Right, you don't want to oversaturate.
Right? Make it special. Yeah. And then randomly the winter semester of college last year before COVID, the Bond group, which is a graduate study group at U of M, came to us and kind of asked if they could use us for a project. And the concept was helping us target the next location for Detroit Shipping Company. So in that, we kind of gave them like 18, 19 sites. Some we liked, some that had reached out to us, just random ones. And at the same time, the Economic Development Group of Lansing had came to Shipyard and started courting us and asking us if we would be interested in their downtown area. So interestingly, through the U of M group, when the study was done, top three, oddly, Milwaukee, biggest drunks in town, love them. Edmonton And then Lansing, Michigan, number 3, which was quite
that's an
surprising.
interesting cross section of humanity right there.
Yeah, exactly. And at the time, I also started just engaging in touring Lansing and really getting to know that there's an old town, REO town, downtown. There's the East Corridor down Michigan Avenue into East Lansing, and it was a lot more diverse. There was a lot more culture there, right? It's a community,
Right.
immigration. I mean, just a lot more layers than I had anticipated and expected. You have the Lugnut Stadium that has great patronage, about 500,000 annually. The convention center there is another 500,000. So you have 500,000 in the summer, 500,000 in the winter. And the space they're looking for us to take over was the city market, which was their historic farmers market. And 10 years ago, they tore down the site and developed it to and added a 11,000 square foot modern pole barn, we'll call it, for their market, and then also added some residential. And just the reiteration of their market didn't quite hit like they thought. And over the first 8 years, just went to nothing. So they had one tenant, and they had to evict that last tenant, and just sat vacant for a while. And they just put a lot of money into the riverfront, right in front of it. The Gillespie groups just developed a ton of work around it. Myers just opened up that, the little Meyer small grocer, marketplace grocery. So a lot of investments going there. The city's really behind it, and I just kind of fell in love with the area. It's right on a river walk, connects a bunch of neighborhoods. So we're going to do the Lansing Shuffleboard and Social Club. So really, it is a sister project to Detroit Shipping Company, in the sense that we're taking the principles from DSC and we're going to apply them there. But there's already an existing building, so it won't be built out of shipping containers, but it will be about people and operators, right? We're going to bring 7 food operators in there. We're going to do, we love the experience with you guys. We're going to do a podcast/radio station inside. And then we're doing a twist. The Detroit Shipping Company, we have the volleyball in the back. We're doing a twist here, and we're doing shuffleboard.
Nice.
Spent a couple really fun nights in Florida, just on a shuffleboard court with a fruity drink for like hours, just shuffling clays across the little floor. And it's a great time, very approachable for all ages, just a real good time. Same as bocce, right? Things like that. Just
right.
Something you could really just jump into. Anyone can do it and have a great time. So really excited about bringing that to Lansing. Once we knew we were doing that, we really started exploring the area of Lansing. We just bought a 74-unit apartment building, and doing a really nice renovation. We're adding laundry in unit, right? I just think if someone's going to live in an apartment, they need to have their own laundry. It's a minimum.
Yeah, what a novel concept, but yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love Lansing. It's really a good next step for me. It's an hour away. It's an odd statement, but Lansing is an hour away from, I believe, 80% of the population of Michigan.
Yeah. No, very cool. All right. Well, hey, what haven't we touched on that you wanted to hit on while we had you here?
I have no clue.
I mean, I feel like I've been kind of monopolizing. Did Bob, Randy, anything? Bueller?
Did you mention a time frame for Metropolitan?
So Metropolitan, it's a 45-day raise. Again, we just launched it today. 100 minimum. Up, you can buy in for the debt raise. You can come in if you're looking for a bigger piece and a longer haul. You can come in on equity. You have to go on our website and kind of email us and connect on that. Really excited about that program, on the sense that it's a piece that can recreate multiple places. It's a very lean business, right? You may be at most carrying 4 to 5 employees, and you get a lot done. It's all about the people again. Very well organized and educated employee staff. You can hire and keep people around with a nice wage, make a good living. I just really like that business model in general going forward in life.
So do you want to send people to the individual Honeycomb stuff, or do you want, is there you keep saying website, is there a central website we should be pointing people at?
No, Honeycomb's a great place if you're looking for the small debt raise, if you're trying to jump in and do that. If you're interested in connecting with us and looking for something larger, our website, DetroitRisingDevelopment.com is a great space to go. There you can actually see all our projects. And, we probably have about 6 or 7 going on that we haven't even talked about. Not all that are, you can jump in on raises, but you can at least see the depth of our company.
Very cool. All right. Well, I mean, if you guys don't have anything else, we can go ahead and cut you loose for the rest of the night, and we're gonna sit here and talk about our dumb stuff.
I just want to say, keep talking about your dumb stuff, because when I do my long runs, I listen to you guys. I can see your
Nice.
chins jiggling when you talk. It's awesome in my mind. It really absorbs me.
That's why Bob's let his beard grow out so that it hides
I
all that.
see that. He's-
Barber shops
cool.
are closed. That's why.
He's trying to get that side hustle Santa money.
That's right.
Get to curl this up, man. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, John, dude, seriously, thanks for taking the time to join us. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure I'll see you down at DSC here soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Good to see you, buddy.
See ya.
See you. Bye.
All right. So, I mean, do we just start with The Mandalorian, or what are we doing?
I think we kind of have to.
Where is Tython?
It's in a galaxy far, far away.
Which part of said galaxy?
Yeah, exactly. Is it in the outer rim, or is it in the, yeah.
Deep core or outer rim?
Right. Well, but I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I feel like Disney's taken it, and it's funny to watch how Disney's been doing this kind of stuff where, like, there's some stuff from what is now the quote unquote Legends series, and bringing it back almost as an FU to Disney that, okay, yeah, you made that non-canon, we're making it canon again. But then some stuff they are tweaking and changing.
True. But I feel like Tython, they just published in a book like last year or the year before.
Yeah.
That was canon. So feels like a weird oversight. Like there was legitimate reasons for the shorter Leku and Montrals of Ahsoka Tano, but this one just seems like, oops, we forgot that this was already an established place.
Well, and this is as
Hold
phenomenal.
on. Before
as
we go
amazing-
too deep, spoiler alert. If anybody hasn't seen the episode, fast forward like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. You should know by now we're going to be talking about this on Monday nights. So, like, as amazing as this episode was, because of, I mean, let's be real, the Boba Fett storyline. As amazing as that was, there were a couple of, like, dumb things that, like, made me kind of like cock my head and do the Sony dog thing. So you've got, like, so seriously, and I've had this kind of conversation with people for 40 years. What good is Stormtrooper armor? Like, really? Like, it doesn't stop blasters. It apparently doesn't stop farm implements. So like what the hell good does Stormtrooper armor do at all? Because I mean, they were showing it just like shattering and blasting off people's faces.
It looks cool.
It looks just not functional at all.
So here's one of my, I'm gonna rant real quick on that. Speaking of that, and this is what drives me nuts, and it's a Hollywood thing, and this is not a Mandalorian thing, but when there's like a team of like 8 to 12 people that are surrounded a guy that doesn't have a gun, and they all have guns, it always feels like they only do like 1 or 2 at a time.
Yeah, take
then the
turns so
guy in
everybody
the-
gets a chance.
Yeah, then the guy in the back part of the circle finally gets his chance, and he takes like 6 steps up to like draw his weapon, then he gets hit with whatever stick the guy has. Like, instead of like,
everybody take 2 Mother May I steps back and blast the guy.
right? Like, you not in a circle, because then they'll all do like a space balls or what, I forget what,
Yeah, they all
when the
shoot
guy
each other.
jumps
Yeah.
up. Yeah. But like if you watch it again, I watched it like 4 times, and like the stormtroopers have to be like the biggest dipshits in the history of the planet, like the way they like.
Well, I mean, that's been constant all the way through. I mean, that's
Right.
they always have been. The one that, especially just because they made it such a plot point earlier, is so he takes the jetpack off and puts it down. Okay, fine. But then a major plot point in the earlier episode where they laid the trap for him with the rope across the thing, and he went flying, and he took the jetpack off, then was the cute little remote control thing that he has that makes it, fly back to him or fly wherever he wants it to go. So as he's trying to get back to the child, why is he not using the little remote thing to bring the jetpack to him so that he gets there faster?
Or even skip the remote control and run to the jetpack and then fly to the child would still be faster than trying to climb up the side of the mountain.
It's kind of like when I'm playing Call of Duty, Dave, and I got my trusty axe in my hand, and I could just hit the Y button and pull out my gun and shoot the guy, but I want to run up and axe him. I think that's kind of, he just wanted to do, that was in his mind. Didn't want to,
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. And the Razor Crest is gone.
Yeah, sayonara.
Like that, there's quite literally nothing left of that
Well,
ship.
I mean, let's be the Captain Obvious line here. We all thought there was going to be this showdown between like the last 2 episodes were going to be Boba Fett versus Mandalorian, then it was going to be like a reincarnate Mandalorian versus Moff Gideon, and now you have like them 2 tag teaming, which I thought, like, I didn't see that coming. Like, like I didn't expect that to be a thing.
I honestly, I don't know that didn't play out pretty much exactly how I thought it would. Like I knew there would be
You know
some
why,
sort
Randy?
of,
Because Dave's the smartest guy in the room. And he
no,
always
but I knew there would be some sort of confrontation, but I figured they would have that Mandalorian conversation. Like I
well, we
figured
didn't know that Jango Fett was technically a foundling, and that's what kind of like, all right, you're my people, cool, we're in. Like we always thought and heard that they took it off of a dead Mandalorian, and that's where he got his armor, that he wasn't a foundling. So his lineage goes back to that. So
yeah, and I guess maybe that's where I'm conflating stuff from the extended universe and the legend stuff, because I mean that got explained in one of the books at some point. So maybe maybe that's why I was expecting it.
I don't read.
No, I know,
and
that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's why I was expecting it.
Yeah.
A bit of a spoiler, I guess. The Lego Advent Calendar shipped with the Razor Crest already destroyed.
Really?
I mean,
that's hilarious.
For some reason, they put instructions with it, but
By
not
the way,
needed now.
I'm starting to collect some action figures. I know, and then the worst one just came out. It's the Baby Yoda in the carriage. Grogu in the carriage.
In the little hover thing, dude. How is that the worst one?
But if you looked at it in the packaging, it sucks. It's like it's at scale of like the Mandalorian figure. So it's just like this, it's tiny. Like, when I mean tiny, it's like literally it's the scale of the regular figures. And I think it's $13.99 on Entertainment Earth pre-order. If you want to collect it just to have it, be my guest. But like, yeah, it looks stupid.
Yeah, it sounds like a pass.
What else between the episodes? I feel like I gotta watch it every other day to like remember everything.
It was good to have to see Fennec Shand back. The character played by Ming-Na Wen.
Well, and the Dark Troopers made their appearance, and we had kind of talked a little bit about that last week, and
You mean Iron Man, the Black Iron Man made their appearance?
They are the robotic versions, not the cyborg or human versions.
You forget, Favreau did the original Iron Man, so it's kind of like, what the hell? We'll make them, we'll make them with the thrusters. Here's what I don't get. Oh, speaking of Mandalorian's backpack, wouldn't that fry the ever living shit out of his ass? Like, look where the thrusters are. It's right there. He has no armor over his buttocks.
Or his legs or his thighs.
It's like the lightsabers, Bob. Like what makes the lightsaber stop? Like why doesn't that light beam just go forever? Like
how does it not burn their fingers?
I don't know.
They're melting metal.
Maybe I don't know. They're limited flames. I got nothing.
No, the jetpack like shoots right like an inch from his butt.
Maybe it's a I don't know. I got nothing. Sorry.
I'm gonna email Jon Favreau and ask, how come Mandalorian's butt's not burnt?
Well, he never answered your. Lucas never answered your question about Chewbacca's penis. So maybe you'll get an answer for this one.
I never said that. Did I?
It's still in your drafts folder.
Oh no, I always sent dumb emails like the KFC. Like I asked if they were clone chickens. I never asked. Oh, if Chewbacca had a dog wiener or a human wiener.
Oh my God! Speaking of KFC, what the hell is this Lifetime movie?
Mother of God, I really and I've learned more about it throughout the day. So I genuinely thought it was a spoof, like it was just like a made up movie poster that KFC put out for this thing with Mario Lopez as the Colonel. And then I found the trailer for it, and no, it's a real thing, but it's also only a 15-minute thing. Like it's not a full-length movie. It's like this little 15-minute spoof thing that they did, which I'm still gonna watch because I think it's gonna be hilarious, because just the trailer itself was amazing. Like it was just absolutely hilarious.
Well, it reminds me of the K-Swiss Kenny Powers commercials.
Oh, absolutely. Very
no
much
way
so.
This is real, and you're like, yeah, that's real.
Yeah, no, very, very much so. You're dead on with that one. But no, so and apparently we are never going to worry about going to movie theaters again, because everything's just going straight to HBO Max. Like that's basically been the vibe of the last week. You know, you got Godzilla versus King Kong, you got Dune, you got The Matrix 4, you got everything from the Warner Brothers catalog. Just everything's going straight. Everything's going to HBO Max.
The president of AMC Theaters wrote a scathing FU note to Warner Brothers.
I guess if he cares.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like if I'm AMC, that's my content. Like what am I supposed to do? I can't play, Blues Brothers 80s nights on weekends. You know what I mean? That's his livelihood.
Right. But if but I guess I look at it from the other point of view. If you're the CEO of Warner Brothers and ain't nobody going to see your movies in the movie theater, but you want that distribution. I mean, dude, I am quite sure HBO Max ponied up a healthy chunk of change to make that happen.
Well, we started talking about the money Netflix is ponying up. Yeah, I'm sure they are too. I think what the math worked out, and I think I saw it, like a movie might make like $100 million. I think they got like a guaranteed 30 for each of the films, 30 or 40.
Well, and so yeah, I mean, one of the articles that I was reading today that said, they were comparing movies, and like a blockbuster in January, made, $120-150 million. The top grossing movie in April made like $19,000.
Oh. Well, it looks like King Kong versus Godzilla. I think Netflix offered $200 million, but they're going to go to HBO Max because they have a larger reach in China. So
interesting.
That comes into play once again.
Well, and the kind of the interesting corollary to that was the conversation around, is Hulu going to get folded into Disney Plus? And honestly, like the surprising part to me about that article is I had I don't know why I assumed Hulu was bigger than they were, but Disney Plus has twice the subscribers of Hulu.
Because of Mandalorian? No, because then I won't be able to watch Letterkenny anymore because they're not gonna have that on Disney.
Yeah, I feel like they're very different audiences. They might
totally are.
Maybe merge, like put the two in a new brand under a new brand, but having darker adult things under the Disney Plus brand seems kind of not what they want to advertise.
Did you see that that JPEG that I sent out, the Netflix effect about the Queen's Gambit?
No.
It was going around a lot, but so this is the weird thing that the Netflix effect, they called it. And it says in October, Queen's Gambit debuted on Netflix, right? 62 million households have watched the show to date, right?
Okay.
It's a lot, actually. It's more people that voted, I don't think. Inquiries for chess sets are up 250% on eBay. Google search queries for how to play chess is at an all-time high in 9 years. And the original novel, The Queen's Gambit, is now a New York Times bestseller 37 years after its release.
Wow.
And the number of new players on chess.com is 5x.
Dude, I think that's an awesome story. Like I'm glad that that's a thing, and that it's making a thinking game like chess have a resurgence.
That's just crazy that a movie would have that effect on anything, for that matter.
Well, I mean, if you go, God, I remember the story, and I didn't do it, think to look any of this up, but I remember the stories at the time about how like Karate Kid had an influence on people joining dojos and that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's, I guess, not that big of a surprise.
Yeah. So by the way, I almost got in the first fight in this house that we've had in ages. Usually me and my wife are pretty chill. We don't fight too often, and we usually have the same tastes in music and food and movies and TV, and you know what I mean? I watch wrestling when she goes to bed type, you know what I mean? We have a pretty big understanding.
Yeah,
well,
you have balance.
A movie finally came out on demand that I had to watch front to back because I only saw clips on YouTube, and it was 0 Hour. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's that movie that Airplane, the Zucker brothers, bought and stole and added one-liners to.
Well, they didn't. Airplane. I was gonna say, yeah, they didn't steal it. They bought it.
They bought it, but they stole the one-liners. And man, I lasted 10 minutes watching that. That's a rough, like, they took clips. They did not use the movie verbatim. Like that.
Oh, dude, there's a reason why they only paid like $40,000 for the rights to it.
Dude, that movie's a rough.
Well, and
watch.
for those, and I mean, we've talked about it on the show before, so I'm sure people have heard us yak about this. But yeah, so if you do a look on YouTube for 0 Hour and Airplane, you can see the side by side where basically they just lifted scenes and punched it up with a one-liner and just made it. But it's the exact same plot. It's the airplane, the pilot goes down. Is it the fish or the chicken? Is it this?
No, the funniest line about it was looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking is an actual line in that movie.
An actual line from the movie. Yeah.
The choices of food were like halibut or lamb.
Yeah.
And the pilot was like, "Oh, I'll have meat."
Yeah.
Like he just answers, "I'll have meat." We're like, "Wait, what's fish?" But like the difference was Joey was Ted Stryker and Elaine's kid. Like he was following them on the plane, like she was leaving him.
Okay.
So they changed that part.
Yeah.
Like Joey wasn't just
instead of just being like a random passenger's kid.
Yeah, but like I couldn't. Sitting through that thing was torture. But I have to do it. I have to do it when the house is empty, so I don't get that evil look.
The hell, I mean, she was fine with you watching the Porky's trilogy, but
there'd be another fight in the house if we were in Belgium. Apparently, only one. So at Belgium, the COVID Christmas rules. Apparently, only one guest can poop at the house.
Like how's that going to work?
I don't know. Inviting people to celebrate in the gardens allowed as long as it's not more than 4 people. And direct access to the garden is required. They don't have to pass through the house. And then only one person is allowed to use the loo.
Like
ever
per day or
because of hygiene. Yeah. That's what it says. BrusselsTimes.com. This is like their paper.
That doesn't seem very practical, but okay.
Right. Others are, only one person. The only person who's allowed inside is the others are not allowed to grab a drink or something to eat or even use the bathroom. So if you really have to go to the toilet, there'll be nothing else to do but return home.
Or just squat and poop.
Toilet. Yeah. And hopefully your neighbor isn't an HOA president and tells on you.
Squat in the yard.
Yeah. I've been watching these like Karen's Gone Wild videos on YouTube. That's my new favorite hotness.
You mentioned I did.
There's one lady's kicking down the front door and she's like, "This is an illegal party." And she like busts the screen off the door and like almost kicks the door. And the guy's like, "I got like 3 friends over watching the game." Like everyone's an HOA president now.
With every fiber of my being. Well, and apparently just, from a weird stories out of Europe, continuing that theme, I was not aware that Germany had a giant wooden penis statue, but apparently it has been stolen.
Yeah. At the Grunton Mountain, named accordingly in Bavaria. I didn't know it was there either because I've spent a lot of time in Bavaria, and if I would have known that there was a big wooden wiener, I would have went and saw it.
Well, apparently they said it just mysteriously, it's kind of like a monolith. It just showed up like 6 years ago, I think the article said.
Oh. I know there's a town called the one word that we can't say on the show, ING, Fucking.
Oh, yeah.
In Austria. And I asked my entire family, like every which way but loose, to find this town. I looked on maps. And I couldn't, it wasn't there. But like, if you Google it, there's like every tourist that goes through Austria has to stop in this town.
Well, yeah. And just get a picture with a road sign. Why wouldn't
sign?
You?
Yeah. Well, and there was also stories upon stories of people stealing the sign.
Of course. Because degenerates. That's how that goes.
Right.
So I gotta give it, I don't know if you watched it or not. I gotta give a shout out did you catch SNL this week?
Yes.
No.
Dude, the cold open is amazing, especially for anybody here in Michigan, just because it's all about Giuliani and the crackpots that he brought as witnesses that were just in front of the Michigan legislature. Oh, by the way, while he was COVID,
well, everyone was pretty normal except for that one crackpot, the Victoria Jackson one.
Yeah.
like I know I saw it. Like,
I saw what I saw.
oh my God.
Dude,
Like,
the SNL take on her. I signed after David. What? Well, David signed it, and then I signed it. It's an after David. The Eminem spoof was absolutely just epic.
I didn't hit play on that.
Oh, dude, you absolutely should watch that. And then of course Weekend Update was great again, as always. I mean, and there's a great skit in there about 20 and 30 something year olds having the talk with their parents this holiday season about not coming home. Like, so it's, like 20 and 30 year olds like calling their parents over FaceTime or Zoom or whatever, and telling and then the guilt trips that the moms in particular are laying on them. Like, oh, well, you don't love anything anymore. So, here's your christening gown. Nothing matters. I'll just burn this in the fireplace. They did a really good job this week. I thought it was phenomenal.
Nice.
And then I forgot to shoot, but today is something of an anniversary for me, which I forgot to shoot across. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, or at least in 1995 in Washington D.C., a little shiny happy geek got out of a really bad relationship and hopped on the Star Wars forum on CompuServe and started yakking with people, which led to the chain of events that led to me moving out here. But yeah, it was 25 years ago today, actually.
And they're cheering and we're crying.
It's a thing. It's well, hey.
I'm just glad that you're not, or I'm not, the president's personal attorney, because apparently when you fart, it becomes a article on Business Insider,
dude. Yeah,
and
which was a prominent feature in the SNL skit as well, of course.
I did not hear said fart, but that was apparently there's there. Never mind. I'm not going to play it. There's a thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
We got interview a single witness. Oh yeah, I heard it there. It's between single and witness. I think he drops a little.
Yeah. So that's, well, and like I said, and then apparently, Giuliani was just here in front of the legislature, pop positive. Obviously, speaking of COVID, so the lawsuit that the restaurants, or I should say a group of restaurants, had filed to get everything rolled back was defeated last week after we had aired. And then today, 12 more days, which I think we all know is not going to be just 12 more days.
Yeah, 12 minimum.
Was it the Gretsch that stole Christmas?
Nice. Yeah, well, and it was, I felt like like the audio coming out of that presser was absolutely terrible.
The stream was really choppy for me today.
It was like a bad 70s kung fu movie. It was terrible. And even the closed captioning had no idea what the hell to do with it. So I kind of want to go back and read up on some of the provisions and that kind of stuff that they were talking about. But yeah,
apparently she made some comment about fighting this virus is like fighting Nazis in World War II, which made a lot of people very happy hearing that. Because that's the same. So I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, it doesn't make people happy when they're busy, like, and I'm talking about like the people that own like the neighborhood restaurants and the neighborhood diners and the neighborhood bars, with the bartenders that make their livelihood.
Oh, dude, places. Yeah. I mean, this was,
and then they're watching what's going on at Kohl's and Costco and the mall and
it's the
Top Golf.
Yeah,
and the Bronners, a line around the building to get Christmas stuff, like, and that's the thing, like, with not my plea to people, but like, you can't buy that shit online, like, and I know UPS and FedEx are tapped, but like, we're getting shit every day to the house.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just I'm not saying I'm fed up because I think the system's fetting us up. It's
well, absolutely. I mean, dude, this is what happens when, and we've talked about this before. I mean, we have by and large very much half-assed this as a society. Okay, yeah, so we're locking bars and restaurants down, but there's crowds and lines around the corner at malls, to buy stupid 3-wick candles.
They're $9.99 though.
Oh yeah. Are you $9.99? Are you out of your mind?
Or candles are always $3.99 at Aldi.
Right.
Yeah, so and I guess that's my issue with it, and I've said this a bunch of times before talking to people, that to me it's like bars and restaurants truly have a PR problem more than anything else. Because I mean, you look at even the data the states put out, that I mean, with the contact tracing and all that stuff, they've only been able to track, I think it's like either 4.3 or 4.4% of cases back to a bar and restaurant. But the flip side of that is, okay, well, with a 10 to 14 day incubation period, the people that are choosing to go out and do their thing and live their lives, odds are good one of the things they're choosing to do in those 10 to 14 days is go to a bar or restaurant. And so when they pop positive, oh yeah, I was at TGI Fridays. Oh yeah, I was at that restaurant. Am I going to say, hey, I was at my buddy's house and have them call him? Probably
Hell
not.
no.
So that's
no, and you're not going to say you went to Meyer because you probably go every other day. You
right.
know? Yeah, you always think about what you do for a meal or whatever. No, but that's, and that's the thing. That's just like the picking and choosing. This has been my common theme too since March. Like, you can't single one thing out. Like, now you're taking away liquor licenses from people, but you're allowing it to go on at Topgolf. So it's like,
right,
dude, like, you got to be, you either got to yes, or you got to
drop the hammer, or you got, yeah.
Well, I thought the decent rule was, okay, you can operate at whatever, like what they tried to do, the half capacity, and they all complied with that. That's the thing I don't get. And
they absolutely was good. Oh yeah,
everyone was good putting up either the dividers or making sure that every third table had tape on it.
Yep.
I'm sorry, every table, then 2 tables with tape. So I mean,
yeah, dude. I mean, everybody was spacing stuff out. I mean, and that was part of the stuff with DSC. They got that giant tent outside. They've gone from a 600 capacity to 120 people, out underneath a giant tent in the back parking lot.
You got to bring the inside outside, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, but you can't even do that. Now you got to sit. Now this is the funniest argument I was watching. Like, now you got to sit in an effing igloo with no ventilation.
Yeah, which is the weird thing to me, because the big tent that they have out back in the back parking lot qualifies as outdoor seating. The tent they have in the indoor courtyard, they were told, does not qualify as indoor seating, because even with the sides off the tent, technically speaking, it is surrounded by the 4 walls of the actual shipping company itself, and so therefore it is still enclosed seating.
But like my thing is, if you got to go to an igloo, there's like 25 bars apparently that have them. Like, just go get a 12er and go sit on your porch. You know what I mean?
Well, and they want
yell at the neighbors.
Oh yeah, a lot of those places want a $250 minimum.
Yeah.
They want that for those, and I mean,
because those things weren't cheap, dude.
No, dude, they're 10 to 15 grand a piece.
Wow.
Like, yeah. And then you sit in them with no ventilation, which completely defeats the purpose. Who the hell said that was okay?
Oh, well, exactly. Because then you're in something that's completely enclosed. What the hell? Yeah,
right. I'm done. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, apparently, I'm guessing the igloo manufacturers are a huge lobbying organization. That's my guess. So whenever we can, you taking a trip to Japan?
Dude, that I would take it. I always said after going to Japan, how many times did I go? 3 or 4 times, that I would never go back. Like, I would never pay money to go. I would go for this.
Dude, this Nintendo World thing looks really effing sweet. Like, it really, really does. Like the Mario Kart racetrack
just to go on the Mario Kart ride, dude. Like that, just for that, I would fly there just for that. I would drive there for that too. Yeah, and apparently they're doing like virtual coins. Like, it looks so good. Like, but here's the thing: it's at Universal. That shit's coming to Florida and in California. You know this.
One would hope so. Yeah.
Right. Like, they're going to try this out. I mean, because Japan obviously, but I think Nintendo's just as big of a thing as it is here as it is there. So yeah, I see this thing. I see this thing coming here in 4 or 5 years.
Oh, dude, just from a like retro for nerds like us perspective, it'd be amazing.
Oh, all day. Dude, I hated Harry Potter. Not hated Harry Potter. I never read the books. I never watched the movies. It was never a thing. It wasn't on my radar.
Yeah.
That Harry Potter land at Universal has got to be the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't know that it's there, and you have to like cut behind this wall without signs, and then all of a sudden it opens up and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's the coolest part, because they like built it like it's hidden.
It's a giant speakeasy. Ooh.
It's pretty much, yeah. And butterbeer sucks.
And I'm sorry, the most ironic thing, the most ironic story that came out. I love. There was a swingers convention in New Orleans a couple weeks ago, and the swingers convention has become a super spreader event.
See, now that doesn't make any sense either. If you went to a swingers convention and you caught the Rona, and then the health department, I think they call you, right, or whatever.
Right.
Are you going to say I went to a swingers convention? I think that smells like bullshit.
So apparently they are up to, I think it's either 64 or 65 confirmed cases, including a couple people in really serious dire straits. Yeah, apparently that's a thing.
They didn't go to the 17 bars, like, or they didn't go to the.
No,
again, that's why this crap. It's this event led to that, and then Sturgis led to 250,000 people, but then all of this, sharing champagne for Joe Biden's victory. Like, no, it's healthy.
And the candle purchasing will have no lasting repercussions.
No, it's good, clean, healthy stuff.
Well, so and honestly, like that's one of the scary. Like I was yakking with Fred a little bit earlier. Like apparently the spikes and stuff that we're seeing now are a result of whatever happened around Halloween. Like we haven't even started to see like spikes or raises in numbers from Thanksgiving, like everybody was talking about last week, and we won't for another, couple weeks.
Aren't those people sick and done with it already, or sick in the hospital with it already?
From Thanksgiving? No.
Yeah.
Dude, that's just a week and a half ago, dude.
Oh, feels like 2 months ago.
Yeah, quarantine.
And one of the things I'm angry with, I never really collected. All the things I collected in my life were the stuff that was never worth shit. Like all the years I collected baseball cards was like the most printed things ever. Like I never collected, like I think I had like 2 packs of Star Wars cards. Like I never really, but like I never collected Pokemon was another thing never on my radar. And apparently there's a 20-year-old Pokemon card that's going for $500,000. It's the
so
Pokemon base.
Actually going for it, or that's what they're asking for.
It's going up when they usually say it's going for an auction. That's usually what they sell for.
Oof.
They're pretty accurate. It's the base first edition number 4 Charizard trading card.
I wonder if I have one of these.
What's that?
I don't know where my Pokemon cards are. I had these in high school.
Your mom threw them away, Randy. Just like
No,
everybody.
I think they're in a box up in the garage somewhere.
Yeah, apparently this house is doing like the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card. I mean, here's the thing. We talked about this like a month ago. It could have been last week. I don't know, for whatever time. It makes no sense to me anymore. That like baseball cards are coming back. So like I'm keeping an eye now on like the stuff that I have that's like here. But the problem is now I got to send it to get it $5
graded
per card.
and yeah.
So like I'm looking for any card that I have that's $50. But then I'm looking on eBay, like Barry Sanders, I have every rookie card that was ever printed of Barry Sanders, right? They're worth like $50, but there's like a gajillion of them being sold. So like they're not selling for $50. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and I guess just doubling back on the bars and restaurants thing, I loved this article that you shot across, and we talked about it last week. The autonomous zone that some bar owner tried to set up in New York. He's been arrested.
Dude, that guy's going to run for politics. He had like a press
Oh, he absolutely is going to. But I didn't understand. Like apparently they have different color coded zones, and apparently his business is in the orange zone.
No, he painted an orange autonomous zone in front on the front steps.
No. Apparently there are delineations of the boroughs or the neighborhoods about when you can be open and how many people you can have that are color coded.
Oh, but yeah, arresting him. Despite being an orange zone forbids indoor dining. Yeah.
The orange zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only.
But yeah, they stripped it of his liquor license. I mean, that, again, that's the stuff that pisses people off. And now they got protesters all out there all day.
Yep. And and now you've turned him into a martyr, and now it's going to become a cause.
Yeah, and the quote in there that I've been saying this whole time, one of the protesters, you don't selective enforce. You have all these big box businesses that are wide open, making $1 billion. Because all the Amazon and Home
Go to-
Depot. They're all the stock's all up through the roof.
You can walk into a Best Buy. You can walk into a Lowe's. You can walk into a yeah, but you can't walk into a bar.
No, but there's a line.
Yep.
And I heard someone online says, well, they have high ceilings, so it's okay. It's different.
But I got into a conversation with Jackie that owns Stray Cat Lounge, and I was just going back and forth with her. And like, you think of any place, like, I don't know, like the HVAC system that she has in there is ridiculous. Like, you can be sitting next to somebody smoking a cigar and never know it.
Dude, she's probably got medical grade air.
Exactly. And she can't be open, which I'm like, how are you not able to get somebody in there and get a variance? Like, that's ridiculous to me. Because of like I said, of any place, you would think that would be the one because of all the money they sank into that stuff.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You could sit in an igloo with no ventilation. I mean, isn't that the whole point of this thing? Is moving the plumes?
Right. Keeping the germs a moving.
I don't think anyone knows how this thing's transmitted, to be honest. It's changed 17 times. Used to sit on surfaces. That's what someone else was bitching about. Like, I can go to Meijer right now, watch some old lady finger bang half the oranges on the thing, and then put them back, but that's okay. But I can't have a drink at Muldoon's. No. Yeah, it's true though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't. Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir. You're not getting any arguments out of me on that front at all.
And I don't know why this is news, but I think this is brilliant. And screw this guy for, I guess his wife. And what kind of marriage are you in where you have to lie to your wife about buying a PS5 at this point in our lives? Like, everyone's just like, babe, I'm buying a PS5. Like, okay, whatever,
Right.
Apparently he lied.
As long as we're good, cool.
He lied and said it was an air purifier,
which is hilarious. Like, I loved the side-by-side photo. Like, it
looks like one.
Like an air purifier.
Right. She told the difference and then sold the gaming console out from under, Yeah. And that's another thing. You come home and he's like, where's my PS5? I sold it for $1,500, 3x, what you paid for it. I'm like, kill you. Like,
yeah. And we're done.
I bought 2 games. I invited friends over Saturday. Like,
well, and why didn't he tell her it was something else, like important, like a new Wi-Fi router or something?
Yeah, because I mean, it kind of looks like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and by the way, this is gonna be the recurring theme. Walmart online shopping sucks.
Okay.
I had an Xbox Series X in the. I had one in the cart. I had one in the cart, and then it said place order,
and it's gone.
And like error. Walmart, it's like the biggest retailer on the planet. They can't load. Test their fucking website.
Well, no, dude. I mean, that's inventory. I mean, what you're seeing, and I was talking with somebody about this the other day online. They were like, "What the hell is a waiting room to get in line to an online store?" And I was like, and that's that. I'm like, well, that's how a lot of places are trying to inventory control with high demand items.
No, it broke 4 times. They said they're going to sell them at like 10 p.m. on Friday.
Yeah.
So I got on 10 p.m. Friday. And I'm doing the control refresh, kind of like trying to buy tickets for U2, right?
Yeah, we're getting a Secretary of State appointment. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's what
Oh my God! Shout out a friend of ours that we know that's come to Comic-Con with us before. Moved down to Tennessee. And she was like, I got to get my license renewed and I can't find a listing for Secretary of State. Where the hell do I go? And I was like, DMV. Okay, that's only in Michigan. Everywhere else, it's a DMV, Department of Motor Vehicle.
Right. Yeah, I could imagine her going to the gas station. Where's the Secretary of State?
Right.
What?
And you had lightly touched on this, but so apparently UPS and FedEx are telling places, hey, we're done. Like, we're not picking up from you on Tuesdays anymore because you're shipping too many damn packages and you're stressing out our drivers. So screw you, your shit's waiting.
Isn't that what you do?
I mean,
but then again, they probably have a capacity, and if you're a restaurant and you can't serve any more people, you got to stay in line.
Yeah.
10.8 billion spent on Cyber Monday and 9 billion spent on Black Friday. That's a lot of shit.
That probably half of which nobody needs.
Nobody needs any of this stuff. What do you think? Everyone's redoing their house because you're staring at 4 walls. Everybody's getting divorced. Everybody's redoing their deck. Everybody's buying furniture. You're just staring at the walls going, what else you got?
Eric Thomas the other day posted, he's like, dude, he's like, y'all got to find new happies. He's like, I got too many people that are on my Facebook feed popping pregnant all of a sudden. Like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, Eric, we can't even get people to wear masks. You think they're wearing condoms? Like, what?
Everyone wears masks.
Nobody, dude.
Who isn't? Where have you seen someone that didn't have one on?
Dude, come over to Macomb County. Come on over.
I grew up there. I'm good.
Dude, yeah, exactly. I'm going to say every other time I've stopped into either the 7-Eleven at the corner or the gas station, I'm very much in the minority wearing a mask.
If I can count on one, I haven't seen an out here just whatever doing what I'm doing. Like I go to physical therapy, and I was going to the office. I haven't counted on one hand, all the lunch places I went for lunch during that stretch, maybe one hand for many people as I counted that didn't have one on, or maybe under their nose or wearing them under their chin.
Well, but this is why Macomb is almost at 20%.
Yeah.
that's a thing. We were talking about TV shows. I'm excited about this because I remembered what a great show it was, and so I just went back and watched the first 2 seasons again. The Orville season 3 has started shooting again, which is great.
Thank God.
I was actually going to ask if you'd watched it.
No, it was great. I was mad about the second season because I think they took too much criticism. There was too many Family Guy jokes in the first season, so the second season was serious. And it kind of sucked.
I saw an interview with him, and he said that was actually intentional. Like, he knew that he wasn't going to get a second season greenlit unless he did the Family Guy, like, yuck stuff. But, like, the second season was what he actually really wanted it to be.
Give me something. Just give me one.
I mean,
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll watch it all day.
Yeah,
it was. I thought it was quite brilliant. To be honest with you, I thought it was great. It was well written. It was good. That's why the first Mandalorian episode I hated, because that blue fish guy. I thought he should be on the Orville, not on the Mandalorian.
Who it took me until the second time watching it through to realize that was Rob Lowe. It was
Rob Lowe or Rob Schneider?
No, that was Rob Lowe in the Orville.
Which one?
The blue guy, the Retepsian that the wife sleeps with.
Oh,
that's Rob Lowe.
That was I totally remember it was Rob Lowe. Yeah, that she cheated on him with or whatever.
Yeah. I guess I just missed that the first time through that was Rob Lowe.
Yeah, and the blob is Norm Macdonald. Yeah.
Oh no, that I knew. Yeah, the people with the ridiculously recognizable voices, that I knew.
Yeah.
So,
are you gonna send your Tazoa to the moon?
No. Fly me to the moon. No, it's not gonna happen now.
Tazoa.
I was using the Chow, the that one. I mean, I was doing that to whoever posted the message, like, send your DNA to the moon. I think this is as dumb as buy a star, because what is your DNA going to do on the moon?
Die.
Basically, you get like what do you poop in it, or it's $99, and you get a personalized mission certificate.
So it's like buying a star.
Right.
I'm sorry, is this how Elon Musk is crowdfunding?
No. Here's the connect as a family. Want your family to always feel connected? Imagine seeing the moon and knowing you are all there together.
And knowing that your family's DNA was intermingling. No, that's Kentucky. No.
Your DNA gets preserved in an artificial amber in a capsule on the moon lander, and then they stay on the moon forever. That's bullshit, because we never landed on the moon anyway. How are they going to land now?
Don't even.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
I know you were. But so speaking of the moon, have we figured out what's the marketing stunt behind the monolith? Like, it has to be a movie. It has to be a TV show. It has to be something, because, so it was in Utah. And now the photos came out of guys breaking it down. So no, it's not aliens. And then it showed, but then it was in Romania a day later. Now it's in California.
Again, deer cam. Who doesn't?
Yeah. But it's gotta be I don't know. Are they re-releasing new Coke? Are they?
The year is almost over. So I'm waiting for something to tie the monoliths and the killer hornets and everything together into one super story. That we had clues. If we could have just seen it, we would have been prepared for it. But
my first thought was it was actually the monolith from 2001, just because the Earth is done with humans, and they were going to start, dealing with the little monkeys that have entered the Stone Age, because it's okay. People are done. Time to get the next crop up.
No, I saw a thing. It was a base for a Jumana Kairou's billboard.
Yeah, we posted that. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I laughed at something you posted, so yeah, at least take,
It had to happen. So hey, I guess we talked about it last week. Have you hit up that Lantern app yet for your weed home delivery?
I was gonna get some gummies
because apparently the House has now passed decriminalization of weed. So I mean, it still has to work its way through, and that's a thing. But I mean, that's the first time the House has ever passed anything like this.
I'm shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I could not be more shocked.
Well, because I mean, if you think about this has been the conversation that has been around the either medical or recreational marijuana industry this whole time is, okay, great. Yeah, your state can legalize it all they want to. It's still a Schedule 1 substance, according to the feds. And so if the DEA comes in and kicks down your door, it's still federally illegal. You still can't deposit your cash in a bank because, well, that's traced back through the FDIC and all that crap, and you can't justify your deposits. So I mean, it's like, this is kind of monumental that this is happening now.
Well, not only that, dude, and here, what's the side effect to this? Because you got a lot of people in prison that have been there a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
Some people almost 20 years.
Yeah, you're looking at a lot of expungements and a lot of court cases.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, you can't make this illegal, and then, you got Billy Joe Jim Bob in jail for 10 years for growing. You kind of got to get rid of that. Does it work like that? I don't know how that shit works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. Actually, it'd be a good question to look back and see how it worked around Prohibition. When they repealed Prohibition, did everybody just have a clean slate?
I don't know. Yeah, they're felons. Yeah. Are you not felons now?
Interesting. I kind of want to. I'm going to go back and take a look at that. I'm curious about that.
I mean, part of me wants to say yeah because it was a felony when you did it, but like you should be afforded every break imaginable.
Right. Well, there was an interesting case that I guess, just speaking of that with, felons and rights and that kind of thing, there was an interesting case, I guess, working its way through up to the Supreme Court where I forget what it was. It was like an embezzlement case or something like that, but the dollar amount was high enough that it was a felony. And lady was denied the ability to buy a gun because felons can't own guns. Whoa. And so now there's this whole push where, well, if it's a non-violent offense, even if it's a felony, shouldn't they still be allowed to own guns? So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah. And then I think that the last thing we had that I absolutely love is that apparently there are mega churches in California that are reclassifying themselves as strip clubs in order to be open.
Why not? Well, strip clubs aren't open.
But apparently in California, if you are a strip club, you can be open. But if you're a church, you cannot be.
Oh, by the way, that guy, there's some... that governor's a butthole, like a grade A.
California?
Yeah.
Why so?
Here's the thing, that like the browbeating that goes on from some of these politicians that are like, oh, I'm going to tell you to stay home during Thanksgiving while I'm in my villa in Mexico.
Right.
I'm going to tell you not to do shit while I go out to dinner with 15 people. I'm, don't, it's the,
yeah, this is not the time to be playing the do as I say, not as I do bullshit.
The rules for thee, not for me. Like
right.
I think there's like 6 or 7 pretty high profile politicians. And here's the thing. It goes for you, Mr. Facebook person. If you browbeat, then you can't slip up. Like I got way too many people that I know that are like, have been browbeating this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, don't do that. Don't do this. Like, but then I see you doing something. It's like,
yeah.
Like, you brand yourself when you do that shit. And then when you slip up, you just rebranded yourself as a hypocrite. That's HIPPO.
A hypocrite. That's all I got.
Yeah, me too.
I shot this story over probably a little too late for the show, but are you ready to join the Galactic Federation?
Of what?
What?
The former Israeli space security chief says that aliens exist, but humanity is not ready for them.
We're not.
The Galactic Federation has supposedly been in contact with Israel and the US for years, but are keeping themselves a secret to prevent hysteria until humanity is ready.
Well,
Could you imagine?
Have you seen how we've reacted during this shit? Can you imagine if that was actually a thing?
Could you imagine the run on toilet paper if a spaceship was like hovering over Manhattan right now? Like you wouldn't be able to get TP for 6 months. You'd have to wash your ass with a hose in the backyard.
There is a secret underground base on Mars where there are American and alien representatives.
My favorite meme these days have been the pictures from Mars, and it's this high def 8K picture, and it's like picture of the robber at the gas station. It's this like Playboy 1979 pixelated TV.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been. You heard? Didn't Obama come out and say, like, I remember that, like, oh, if there's classified docs, and he was kind of joking about it. You know, that I'm going to release
I remember that. Yeah.
And then actually found them and said he wasn't going to or something.
People
he
are not ready for this shit.
He had 14 guns to his head from the Men in Black.
It's one of the reasons why they always look so much older coming out of office than they did going in.
Did you ever see that weird video about those two guys that look like Men in Black that didn't have like eyebrows and shit? And they were like, they went into an office building. Look up, God, I'm trying to think what it would be under. I went down this wormhole of watching weird videos of creatures caught on like deer cams and in security cameras. And it's these two guys that walk into this building, and apparently they go to talk to somebody, and it's basically they use the pen to erase their memory.
The neuralizer.
But when you look at these guys' faces, dude, it's like, if I find it, I'll text it to you both.
I think I found it on BuzzFeed, but a lot of the images are no longer available.
Of the two guys that walked in, the two Men in Black guys.
Yeah. Oh, but there is a YouTube video.
Yeah,
creepy real life Men in Black.
Shoot it across. I'd be curious. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tweeting this.
All right, that's sweet. It's all real to me, damn it.
Sure. Yeah. Except for the moon landing.
Except for the moon landing. They warned us. Did you see that? Buzz Aldrin. They got a warning. Don't go on the dark side of the moon. And it wasn't Pink Floyd album playing with.
It was the Transformers.
Yes, it was exactly. That's why they did the Transformers, because of that. All right, we're going to wrap things up for episode 377 of the IT and the D Show. I'd like to thank John, don't call me Gus Hartzell from the Detroit Shipping Co. Congrats on all these new projects that are in this crazy-ass time. On behalf of Bob, Dave, and Randy, do us all a favor. Drink up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
See you guys.